Well, he served our country for 10 years working in counterintelligence in both Iraq and Afghanistan. Those are pictures of him. And he received a Purple Heart for his wounds in combat and for his service. Like many of our brave soldiers of this era and others, he suffers still this day from post-traumatic stress disorder. So why would his civilian job not allow him to come to work, get this, just for having a service dog? Joining us now is U.S. Marine veteran Yonce Long. Yonce, thank you very much for joining us. So for our viewers' perspective, I met you on Monday here on this show. You were talking about a great organization that provides canines to wounded warriors. You were a recipient of one. And after you received your service dog, you're diagnosed with post-traumatic stress, you went back to the job you had at Cincinnati Bell, is the name of the company, Cincinnati Bell, yes, and tried to bring the dog and say, I'm here for work. What happened?
Yes, sir. Ever since I applied for the reasonable accommodation with the service dog, there was kind of pushback from the organization. I don't think that they understood exactly how to process that accommodation. There was no back and forth with the company. I was told by my supervisor, the HR said if I showed up with the dog, I'd be fired. I knew that that was illegal, so I showed up with the dog. And when I showed up, they sent me home with the dog unpaid. Throughout the rest of that week, I signed in every morning just to make sure that I was doing my part to let them know I was there, ready to work, and I was sent home every day that week.
How long had you worked at Cincinnati Bell?
I was there for about a year and a half, Pete.
Year and a half before this? Diagnosed with post-traumatic stress, doing your job. Ultimately, veterans have a choice oftentimes. You can take a bucket of pills or you can find alternative therapies. You found that a service dog is helpful for you. Did they give any other rationale? I mean, why would they not be okay with someone diagnosed with post-traumatic stress who's been a loyal employee of the company showing up with their service dog?
Pete, that's been the issue the entire time. I've pleaded with the company. I've gone through all the necessary paperwork. I provided everything that they asked for, and I even followed up with them to make sure that I had everything in proper order because I wasn't sure of the process either. Whenever I showed up with it, they just said the dog was not approved and that I would be sent home. They basically kind of treated the dog as if it was an option. Sure. You know, I still have to be on medication. I still do other things to mitigate my symptoms, but the dog is really, really helping me with my symptoms. Just as last week, I went grocery shopping for myself for the first time just because of the dog.
So. Well, and the dog has one of the coolest names I've ever heard. The dog's name's C4. But we did reach out. We did our due diligence. We reached out to Cincinnati Bell for a statement, and they responded with this, a portion of it. It says, despite repeated efforts, we have yet to receive any information regarding the current status of Yonce's conditions and its effect on his ability to perform his job. We have encouraged and continue to encourage Yonce to report for work and perform his job duties, which entail on-site residential telecommunications and installations. Now, you say you've showed up. You say you've given them the paperwork. You've even got proof that they've acknowledged that they have all the paperwork. So is there something else here? Viewers might be saying, well, have you been delinquent on the job? Have you had any other problems? Or is it literally just a company stonewalling and saying you just can't have a dog?
It's just a stonewall, Pete. In the last year and a half, I've not showed up to work late a single time. I haven't called into work unless I was actually in the hospital. I actually forwarded emails to Fox from Cincinnati Bell that says, hey, we have everything we need to process this accommodation. I have no correspondence saying that, they require more information. I submitted the application in November of last year, so if they did need more information, I would have loved to receive that in the past year since then.
And you even reached out to the CEO of Cincinnati Bell. What did he say, or she?
I did. I wrote letters. I had them written on my behalf. I wrote a personal letter to the CEO of Cincinnati Bell explaining, it was kind of revealing actually. It explained my injuries in combat, the struggles I've been going through, and how I haven't had a response from anyone in HR that satisfactorily explained why I wasn't going to be able to accommodate this, or maybe a job that I could get. His response was extremely unsatisfactory. It basically said, thank you for your note, refer to HR, even though I explained that I was not getting a response from HR that I could look for. So there was no good response from him.
When I first talked to you about the story, it struck me as too bizarre to be true, but as we dug into it and we heard from you and heard from the company, it seems it is. So we're reaching out to Cincinnati Bell again. We're going to ask them to come on the program tomorrow. And certainly I know there's a lot of audience members out there who would love to hire a hardworking employee like you. So Yonce Long, stick with it. We're going to stay on this story, and we're going to bring you more here on Fox and Friends. And Yonce, on behalf of this entire show, thank you for your service to this great country.
Thank you, Pete. I appreciate it.
You got it.